Red and Green and Blue and White, inspired by a true story. Words by Lee Wind, pictures by Paul O. Zielinski. On a block dressed up in red and green, one house shone blue and white. Isaac helped his family decorate their big window for Hanukkah. Across the street, his best friend Teresa helped her family trim their Christmas tree. Isaac wrote poems, and Teresa made art. They both loved playing in the snow, counting down to the holidays, and thought you couldn't have too many sprinkles on a cookie. When it got dark, Teresa flipped the switch, and her house glowed red and green. Across the street, Isaac lit his family's decorative menorah, and his house glowed blue and white. Later, when it was dark and everyone was asleep, shadows approached Isaac's house. Smash! The window shattered. A stone! Shards of glass falling. And Isaac, wide awake, watched their menorah flicker out. The adults talked and talked. "You'll sleep in our room for now," his dad told Isaac and his sister. Isaac's mom asked, "Should we light the menorah again?" If they didn't, Isaac knew it would be like hiding they were Jewish. That didn't feel right. The next night, Isaac lit the menorah, and through the new window, his house glowed. Across the street, Teresa watched the menorah come on and let out a breath she hadn't known she was holding. She took out paper and markers and drew. When she was done, Teresa added 2 words and put the drawing up in the window. For Isaac. Through the paper, the light shone blue and white. Isaac saw the drawing and ran outside. Blue and white menorah light from 2 homes tonight. The idea grew with more drawings. Their friends joined in, then their school, and their library. Local stores joined in, and restaurants and clubs. It was on TV and in the newspaper. 3 weeks after Isaac and his family stood tall, and Teresa and her family stood up by their side, their whole town was dressed up to celebrate the true spirit of the holidays, the true meaning of community. From more than 10,000 windows came Christmas tree and menorah light, red and green and blue and white, stronger together, shining bright. Author's note. This book was inspired by the real events of December 1993 in Billings, Montana. Teresa and Isaac are real people too, though I have fictionalized their interactions and some details of how things unfolded. What I hope shines through is how the people in Billings chose to not just stand by and be bystanders while bad things happened to others. Instead, they stood up to say the bad things weren't okay. They chose to be upstanders. And when the whole community stood up together for friendship and respecting differences and love, the stone throwers backed down, and in Billings, Montana, love won. To learn more about the story behind red and green and blue and white, check out www.leewind.org.